Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Hey, candy killers. Today we have an episode, a tale as old as time, going back to the original Universal monsters. We watched The New Invisible Man. Does it pay homage to the classic? Is it as good as the classic? Could it possibly be better? You're gonna find out now. I'm here with Screamin E, Dominic Davi, and this is the Monster Candy fucking podcast.
That was a good NPR beginning. I actually I'm impressed with that one. I like it. I like what I heard. And the only thing you could have like tonight on MCP.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't have time to prepare for this. You just sprung it on me literally 10 seconds ago. So
That's true. But that was fair.
you want me to prepare one of these? I'll knock it out of the fucking park.
I think you did. I think you knocked it out of the fucking park.
It was teamwork right there. We all came together, you know.
We all came together.
We all came together in
10 seconds. Yeah.
We all came together and made Oobliette do it. That's what we did.
Yeah. E was getting ready to do it, and then all of a sudden I was just talking, and I don't know what happened. But
you said one good joke.
You had to open your big mouth. You had to open your mouth.
Yep.
You did the perfect NPR intro voice for like 3 words, and then that was it. It was yours.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. So,
the worst on NPR or the whisper talkers?
The whisper talkers.
So do you want to know my biggest pet peeve? Yeah, whisper talkers.
Whisper talkers.
But when they're talking, no matter what, they're just whispering like this, and we're just talking about anything, but it's it's like a whisper. But it's super creepy, but kind of quirky. What is it?
Because they're full of secrets and they don't want anybody to know.
That's crazy. Maybe this is soothing. Was it like a SMR kind of discussion?
It makes me want to like rip people's heads off their fucking bodies.
Well, that's fantastic, Oobliette. Thanks for sharing. Screamin E, I think it might be time for
horror news.
That's right. Horror news. Now I'm going to be stuck like this the whole episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and whisper talk the whole episode because of this. That's what's going to happen.
Dom was all talking about, man, I don't have any energy. I'm tired from doing a bunch of shit. And now look at him. He's fucking
I'm exhausted.
Bouncing around like a smacked ass.
I'm
whisper
exhausted.
talking.
Smacked ass whisper talking. I'm awake. I'm ready.
He's excited to be soothing.
Yeah, I want to soothe the audience of Monster Candy Podcast to a comatose state of blissful sleep. But first up, Oobliette, what horror news do you have for us today?
So it was actually kind of funny, guys. I went in and I didn't think that I would have any horror news. And then there was this, what do you call it? The kids call clickbait article came up on my Facebook. And it said that there was
on Facebook. No way.
Correct. And I clicked on it thinking that it was going to be bullshit. But when I clicked on it, it was not bullshit. What it was a listing of all the new shows and movies sci-fi is coming out with. And one that made me click on it is another part of the Bring It On franchise that is a fucking horror movie.
Really?
Oh, I said it.
Aren't they all horror movies?
Wait, the Bring It On? Like the cheerleader movie?
Bring It On. Yep, Bring It On Halloween. Now listen. Held down by restrictive rules, an embattled cheerleading squad seeks the freedom of a creepy closed school gym to practice for regionals. But when members of the squad start to disappear, the cheerleaders must unmask their assailant to save themselves.
Oh my God, that sounds awesome.
I was today years fucking old when I found out that this is an ongoing series that is last beyond 2000's Bring It On.
Mm-hmm.
There have been
Yeah, they had.
five
Yep.
direct to TV sequels, direct to
I
video
mean, it's a
sequels.
Although
culture,
they're
Dom.
Johnny Come Lately.
Yeah.
I had
You
no
haven't seen all the
Jeez.
Bring It On movies?
No, I've only seen the one which I liked. I did like Bring It On. I thought Bring It On was great. I didn't realize it had a bunch of low budget sequels that kept going on forever.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
A bunch of spin-off porns too.
Oh my god, I bet.
Oh, I mean,
Whatever.
of course.
So anyways, so I clicked on it and then I found out for the first time ever there's also going to be a Chucky TV series.
Wow.
So who knows
So
where
they're
that will go?
really scraping the
But-
bottom of the barrel with some ideas.
Jennifer Tilly's in it.
Well, shit.
I mean, she's cool, but
Reprising her role. She's definitely not highbrow, but it could be interesting. So
I do love her.
and then so they got the director of the Banana Splits movie to do a modern retelling of the Slumber Party Massacre.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was the world waiting for another one of those?
On sci-fi, like I feel like they're not going to be able to do anything edgy enough. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, sci-fi does put out some good stuff, but that movie, you kind of need, you need the meat and potatoes.
I mean,
right. Exactly.
So there's Bring It On Again, Bring It On All or Nothing.
We know
Bring It
Dom
On
said he was going to sleep after this. You know
in
he's
it
not now.
to win it. Bring It On Fight to the Finish. Bring It On Worldwide Cheer Smack, which sounds like something Shotzi would like, a move she would do. And then the upcoming Bring It On Halloween. How did this piece of shit become a series?
What do you mean?
Wow, that's that's pretty elitist, Dom.
It's like cheerleaders dance fighting each other. What?
I mean,
what's more exciting than that?
The first movie, directed by Peyton Reed, starring Kirsten Dunst, Eliza Dushku, Gabrielle Union, Jessica Bradford. That was a great movie. That's a great movie. I like that movie. It was funny. It's hilarious. Isn't that Spirit Fingers? Isn't that where that came from? Am I correct?
No, I mean Spirit Fingers are actually like things.
Spirit Fingers have been around since the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but that was where they talk about Spirit Fingers in that as part of the.
I mean, I've known it since high school.
The T-Rex was the original Spirit Fingers.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the T-Rex would be, little tiny Spirit Fingers.
The happiest, cutest little Spirit Fingers.
I mean,
anyways, also moving on from Bring It On, they also announced a show called Day of the Dead. That is a nod, obviously, to George Romero, where 6 strangers try to survive the first 24 hours of an undead invasion. And then Surreal Estate. This one intrigues me. So it's not a reality show, but it's a sitcom, basically about a real estate agent that only sells possessed homes.
I can dig it.
I don't know if they're going comedy wise, but if they went in the route of like, What We Do in the Shadows or something like that, it could be really funny.
That could be really funny. It could be great.
I mean, I really like that show Ghosted, and then that got canceled. But kind of something in that vein, I think, could be good with this sort of storyline.
I mean, at least that's a little more unique and interesting and fresh angle on something spooky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the last announcement from Sci-Fi was Astrid and Lily Save the World, where it follows a pair of high school outcasts who have to work to save the world after they accidentally open a portal to another dimension that is filled with monsters.
Huh.
Which could be fun.
That
or
could
a
be really
throwaway.
fun.
I don't know.
That could be awesome.
But I mean,
Just
for
wait and
one
see.
single announcement of their upcoming lineup, I feel like at least one or two of them will be worthwhile.
I mean,
Yeah, you throw enough shit at the wall, something's bound to stick.
something's got to work.
At this point, I don't want to like any new shows because every fucking show I get into gets canceled. I was really into the regulars, and I just found out it got canceled.
Right.
I love Deadly
That's like me.
Class. It got fucking canceled.
Deadly
like me and
Deadly Class was
barbecue
great.
places.
There's you and barbecue places.
Dude,
it took a minute.
Every barbecue place, every barbecue place out here I've been to has either got shut down, well, except for the one that I'm currently going to, but they've all been shut down after like a year of me going to them.
That's
it all started with
California, boy.
And they're all real Southern barbecue joints run by people actually from the South.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why they shut down, because they realized they want to go back to the South. Yeah,
and California doesn't know. And plus, a couple people got killed in one. When you get shot, when you have people shot in your establishment, probably not good for business.
Yeah, I think that would probably make them want to leave.
Shout out to Richmond, California. What's up? Iron Triangle.
Well,
yes. Every show I love gets canceled, so I'm never going to love again.
You eventually, your heart hardens. Your heart, like, you just can't take the heartbreak. I liked Santa Clarita Diet. I thought that was hilarious, and they canceled it. They killed it.
But that had like 3 seasons, didn't it?
3 seasons. It ended on a cliffhanger that just went nowhere.
Okay. Well, I have like the 1 season curse.
That's true.
Lately.
What Oobliette is trying to say, Dominic, is
her pain is more
her pain is more real and bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Just let her win.
No. Our pain is equally awful, but at least he got to spend more time with that he loved. As where the second I start loving it, it just gets ripped away.
That's fair.
There was no subtle embraces. There's no I didn't actually get to really develop a relationship. It's just like
So what you're saying is you're basically the Typhoid Mary of TV series.
Yep.
Like, come here, let me love you, and they're like, oh, I'm dying.
Like, oh, I'm
if
dead.
she loves it, don't bother.
And I'm like, but I don't have any symptoms.
Right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally.
I got tested last week.
Everyone's dropping dead around me like flies.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Grandma.
Oobliette, thank you for that update on the stuff at Sci-Fi Channel. I forgot that they existed. I didn't really, but I mean, it seems like it's been a while since we've heard anything cool on Sci-Fi. You're right. With that many things coming out, it should be awesome. I got one I think is kind of interesting because it kind of bounces from the comic book world. The director from The Witch, which I loved and he hated. I don't know how he didn't like it. The Lighthouse, which was interesting. A little bit slow. It took all the things in
both of
Witch.
those movies make me want to kill myself.
I like The Witch a lot. The Lighthouse, I get it. It was just a little bit of a slog.
I like The Lighthouse better than The Witch.
I like The Witch better than The Lighthouse.
I liked Cold Skin better than The Lighthouse.
Cold Skin is a great movie. I fucking love that movie.
You're gonna do a movie like that, do Cold Skin. Fuck The Lighthouse.
100%. I can't disagree with you there, Oobliette.
And
Cold
fuck
Skin.
The Witch, other than the goat.
Yeah.
The goat. Black Phillip.
Black ass Phillip.
I love me some.
Would you like to live deliciously? I mean, that movie alone gives that line. Well, director Robert Eggers is doing a Viking revenge film called The Northman, based on the long-running comic of the same name. I guess it's going to come out on April 8th, 2022. I can only assume it's going to be slow as fuck. Alexander Skarsgård, Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, William Dafoe, and Björk.
Did you say Alexander Skarsgård?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I'm going to see this movie.
I mean, yeah.
Clean up aisle 7.
I'll give this director another chance.
Well, of course I'm going to see it.
No, we played Alex's Bar, right? Where they filmed True Blood.
True Blood, yeah. There's a funny
Alex's
story
Bar is
about
a
that.
great
Touch
place.
every seat.
Did I ever tell you the story? I don't know. You might have been there when I heard it, but like what happened, why they stopped filming at Alex's Bar? Do you remember that story? So they were filming the series True Blood at Alex's Bar, and they'd make a bunch. They were paying them to do it, but every time they do it, they had to shut down all day, no matter how long. And sometimes if film shoot goes over, they have to shut down days in a row, so they couldn't open at all. And I guess they were like, "Hey, you gotta have to pay us some more money to keep doing this, because it's getting hard for us to stop doing business just to let you film here." And they were like, "Oh yeah, no problem. We'll talk to the producers. We'll see what we can do, and we'll work out a figure that works for everyone, and we'll let you know." And they're like, "Okay, cool." And then they came in and took a bunch of pictures, and they were like, "Yeah, we're just we're looking over and like doing some prep." They did a bunch of
And
measurements,
they rebuilt it.
and they rebuilt it. They completely rebuilt the bar on another set.
If they come in and start taking pictures after they've already filmed stuff before, you know what they're
that's
doing.
the end. So I think it's like the first season for sure, maybe the second season, but somewhere along the line, the way you can tell is that Alex's Bar or whatever Fantasia or whatever it's called in the show suddenly gets really clean. That's the set, and they just recreated it. So poor Alex's Bar like lost out, like just by trying to be like, "Hey, we need some more money if you're gonna keep shutting us down." And they were like, "Nah, we'll just rebuild it."
Fucking Hollywood. Fucking Hollywood.
So it was funny. I took my husband and I went to a slew of, pretty bad movies at the theater a few years back. And I think it was Straw Dogs that we were watching. And about halfway through, my husband looks at me and is like, "It's that actor." I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, "Really, Courtney? Fucking Battleship? Come on." I think so. He says something, whatever movie we saw of his last. And I'm like, these are all quality movies. And he's like, "I just realized that like every shitty movie you've taken me to go see has that same actor."
He picked up on the pattern.
Yeah.
That is really funny.
Yeah, it's his fucking fault for making a bunch of shitty movies in a row. But anyways, he was like, "Next time you want to see a movie with him, and just go by yourself."
That's
Noted.
amazing.
Noted.
You're like, "Oh, I will. Don't you worry."
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
I will.
I expect it's going to be a bit slow. Hopefully he picks it up a little bit because it's Vikings. So
really, did you watch Valhalla Rising?
No, I didn't.
You should watch that movie.
Valhalla Rising.
That was actually another one.
Is he in it?
No, he's not in it.
Okay.
No.
But it came under a bunch of like, when it came out, everybody was going crazy about how awesome it was. The director of that did Bronson, which is a great fucking movie.
That is a great movie.
You haven't seen Bronson? Okay. So he did this movie called Valhalla Rising. Great actors in it.
Tom Hardy in it?
No, Mads Mikkelsen is the main character.
No idea who that is.
He was Hannibal Lecter in the series. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Charles Bronson. Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen's the one replacing Johnny Depp in the Fantastic Beasts movies. Danish actor. He usually plays a villain. Anyways, he's the main character, and it's this Viking movie. So anyways, I thought it would be awesome because it was the Bronson director. Another movie that I convinced my husband to watch with me at home. And about halfway through, my husband was like, "This movie is so boring." And just to be an asshole, because that's how I am, I was like, "You just hate anything that's artsy and you can't see the good in it." And then I proceeded to fall asleep, but I covered the pillow of my face so my husband couldn't see I was falling asleep. And he watched the rest of the movie. I swear that the movie seems so long. And then in the credits, he's like, "I can't believe you think this movie's awesome and realizes I was asleep and wakes me up and just like, why would you do that to me? You said you were enjoying it and it was awesome. When did you fall asleep? And I was like, yeah, I
'Cause
fell
I'm
asleep
evil.
like 40 minutes into it. And yeah, I just wanted to torture him. But I remember kind of waking up through parts of it, and it was just like, like drowning background noise and like, cool cinematography shots, but like nothing really happening through the whole thing.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. Did you know that small weird thing that when Mel Gibson got canceled for screaming at a cop that pulled him over while he was drunk and screaming racial obscenities all over the place and getting caught on camera or recording for it, and then couldn't do anything else in Hollywood for years, including now.
Yeah.
He was going to direct a all in Nordic or Old English Viking movie,
yes.
kind of in the vein of Apocalypto, which is a fantastic film. But it was going to be about star Leonardo DiCaprio as a English monk kidnapped by Northmen as a slave and then exposed to their whole society and their whole world, which I think would have been epic if he'd have done it. But yeah, he had to go and be an asshole. So
did you read what he called Winona Ryder, which I thought Gran Torino was the only movie that taught me a new racial slur. Listen, I've got family in the deep south. It's not me. But did you read about what he called her? It's one I've never heard.
No, I don't know.
At a Hollywood party, allegedly, when she was like a teenager, he called her an oven dodger.
Jesus Christ. Are you serious? That's fucking terrible. Wow.
He looked at her and said, what's your last
Oh,
name?
Mel.
You look like an oven dodger.
Wow. Holy shit. I mean, Australians can be.
I'm sorry I'm laughing because that's not funny. But
It's not. It's.
I mean, it's a little
can,
ridiculous because Mel Gibson.
Almost every Australian I've ever met has been edgy. I will say, like, they can be a little bit wild, they can be a little bit edgy, but that's not edgy. That's like just fucked up. Like, this guy obviously was just like hated everybody he was working with in Hollywood. Every agent, lawyer, studio head he encountered was just holding it in, and then he'd get drunk and just let it all out at people, or let it out at people that he didn't think could touch him. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, yeah, back then he said all kinds of stuff, but nobody talked.
He should star. He should write a new sitcom and call it, instead of calling it "That's So Raven," like "That's So Mel," and have him just every episode gets him in some new racial thing. I think that would probably be a big hit nowadays. Really get him back in the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, he had those like daddy movies with Mark Wahlberg.
You know,
yeah, he basically played himself.
Speaking of encountering interesting things, I wasn't going to bring this up until I found out just now that there was actually a response. But as we all talked about in our chat off recording, Seth Rogen recently talked about his crazy encounters with different actors and such as promoting his book. And apparently he mentioned that Nicolas Cage, while talking to him about the possibility of taking part in the Green Hornet, Cage reached out to him about playing a Jamaican white guy that set off a lot of alarms for him and his partners in the movie, and would involve
which
Nicolas
I would
Cage.
like to watch if they want to film that part and add it in.
Yeah, like he would tattoo hair. He would go bald, but it would look like the guy had tattooed hair on his head. And it's in promotion of a collection of essays titled Yearbook. But apparently Cage reached out to him about playing the villain in the Green Hornet, and was ultimately rejected since Rogen felt like it would cause a world of trouble for the production to have this white guy pretending to be Jamaican.
I honestly think Nick Cage was probably doing a bunch of cocaine and watching Gary Oldman in True
Right.
Romance and was like,
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't be
exactly-
surprised.
Oh my god, I just came up with this.
Do this. This is gonna be awesome.
I just
Then the
came up
next
with this
day-
totally original idea.
Yeah.
That's not
Or
original.
So-
or he woke up the next day and was like, God, I had this weird dream.
So
How he'd be
apparently,
this Jamaican.
White Jamaican guy.
apparently they reached out to Nicolas Cage for a comment, and this was his response. I like Seth. He's a funny guy and clearly a good storyteller. I wish him luck with his book. And that's all he said. That was his response.
Oh, but Seth will get that Cage rage later.
Yeah.
He's not gonna
probably.
expect it, but he's gonna come for him.
Can we discuss for a
He's
minute?
stealing his laptop right now.
Yeah, he's
How?
using my laptop to respond to that.
I honestly think we started something. I mean, yeah, Nicolas Cage was this like goofy, like everyone was like, oh yeah, Nicolas Cage, like whatever, but not until the first episode of Cage, and then the second one, and then the third episode. I 100% believe we willed this whole Cage phenomenon into existence.
No, I think partially Cage willed this.
I was gonna say, I think Cage just pulling a Takashi
No.
Miike and just saying yes to every movie that threw at
That's
him.
where it's
Willed
going.
it.
God damn it. It's us. We did it. We fucking did it.
I
Now everyone else is jumping on it. We're ahead of the
I
game.
mean,
yeah.
I think
They're
you were
bringing
the
it
first
up on The Last Drive-In. They're bringing it up a
You
lot.
were one of the
places.
first people on that train. I think you both were definitely on that train.
Extremely reluctantly.
It's ready before anyone else.
Dragged underneath it would be how I would describe my experience. But yes, I think we were right on. I think it's proof that we're on the pulse here. We saw what was happening, and we, like good horror journalists and reviewers, we discussed it too much, and now here we are.
They even did like they even did something like on Bloody Disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to Nick Cage, and I'm like, man, everyone's stealing money. We're gonna have to ask for some royalties on this shit.
I don't think it's so much royalties when you're reporting on things that are already happening, but I mean, I definitely think that Nicolas Cage said yes to everything so he can build back his fortune one small little bit at a time. I mean, he's gonna go, if he keeps this up, he's gonna be an icon of B-movie horror and crazy indie movie. I mean, it's gonna be.
Dom, you
And
can be
he's
as diplomatic
there.
as you fucking want to. They're stealing shit from us, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna take all these motherfuckers down. We're the goddamn kings of the Cage rage.
The original Bring It On only got 63%
And that's
on
when
Rotten
Screamin
Tomatoes.
E went and looked for a hacker.
You know what? I'd be flattered if they all stole stuff from us, for God's sakes. That would be cool. If we could steal some of their audience, it'd be great. I think that's it for horror news. Anybody have anything else?
Nah.
Mm-mm.
All right, guys, you're on your own to find out everything else. If you want to know more about horror news that we're discussing, ask us. Okay, so what is I didn't have any. What
Do we have to do this?
apparently thanks to E. Okay, everyone,
Yes.
literally the reason
Yeah,
this
'cause
episode
E
is
was-
happening.
He's
Yeah.
excited about it.
E
I'm
made
super excited about
he
it.
has not let go about doing this episode for a long time, and here we are. Here we are, the Invisible Man, 2020's The Invisible Man, because he wanted it so bad. He wanted to promote this movie. Oh, you know what? Before we talk about this, one quick note.
Okay.
How rad is it that the Dark and the Wicked like totally reposted?
Oh, yeah.
They saw all of our stuff.
Even on Twitter, on Instagram, we're like
They were
BFFs
great.
now.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will only.
We're going out to dinner on Friday.
Yeah, this is a thing now. No, I mean, like, great movie. That's really cool. They saw it. They started sharing all the stuff about Monster Candy, talking about it, and I don't suppose
and
they
I-
listened to
what am
this
I-
episode, but thank you.
One
They probably have a lot of
correction.
extra
I
time
said
on their hands. So.
Right. It's true. One correction is it wasn't a Shudder original, but they showed like it was a not a premiere, but it wasn't a Shudder original.
Oh, okay. We thought it was a Shudder.
I mean, they got
Yeah.
fucked. They didn't get on Tribeca. They didn't get on any of the
Right.
shit they were supposed to. So I'm sure that they're social media person has some time on their hands and was super excited that someone's like, oh, they watched it.
That's so
Or
sad.
people
True.
should watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Watch
Yeah,
it. Watch
that
it. Watch
movie
it.
would have made I think would have made a good horror movie splash in the mainstream. Like I don't think it would have like necessarily set the world on fire, but like a couple horror movies have done in the past where it makes a good blip, it makes a solid I think it would have done well.
Whatever. People fucking went crazy over A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
You're right. It did.
And this had that level of acting chops, but it was actually way fucking better.
It was a way better story, and I'm surprised at how many
I liked
people
Quiet
are
Place, but it was
down with.
You're right.
Yeah.
Down with the Dark and the Wicked. I'm like,
yeah, no.
I mean, I don't see how you couldn't like it, at least enjoy it. Like, oh yeah, it was entertaining.
It's a solid. I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I stand by.
Some
I
people
stand
are
by.
like,
Like I
our
said before, I think people who don't like horror movies could like that movie just from the visuals and
Speaking
level.
of people who don't like horror movies, let's talk about today's movie, The Invisible
Which is
Man
not
2020.
a horror movie.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
Namaste.
He
It
is
was
literally
a suspense
getting himself ready right now.
thriller. I would call
Okay.
this a sci-fi suspense thriller.
Okay,
What I would call it.
this movie is my mic a little hot?
A little hot. You're a little hot. You're getting heated.
I think you're
The
getting
mic is
heated and
heating
your
up
mic's picking
along
up
with
on
you.
it.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
No, it's good. That's good.
All right. So this fucking movie should be called The Abusive Gaslighting Techie Ex-Boyfriend. Because The Invisible Man.
Exactly. Thank you.
It was not. Dude, I sent Dom a text as I was watching it in the movie theater. And I read some like reviews on it before it came out. I'm like, I don't know, that sounds not like The Invisible Man at all. But I was bored. It was $5 Tuesdays. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go.
What a waste.
10 minutes in, I legit almost walked the fuck out. Because 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be, this is the kind of movie. And I sent Dom a text like, dude, I'm so mad. Like, I'm about to fucking leave. Shot him a picture of the screen. But seriously, the shit that pisses me off more than anything is, and the Wolfman did it too, the Benicio del Toro one.
Mm-hmm.
They take this fucking idea and instead of just The Invisible Man, okay, the original, not that great of a movie, but it's really whimsical. Like, it's not like a fucking, you can, but that could have totally been remade into like a less creepy, like Hollow Man, where he was like super rapey.
Yeah.
But it could have been made into like a cool fucking, I'm a crazy scientist, science fiction movie.
Yeah.
And a little darker. But this wasn't it. They're like, all right, we're gonna take the name of a movie that most horror fans are familiar with and just write some other fucking story to it and bank on the name alone to get people in. And it felt to me like it was because it was going on. It came out during the whole like the pinnacle of the Me Too thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it felt super pandering. Like they're like, what's gonna sell now? Got it.
Well,
and
you know, this was a part of originally meant to be part of the Dark Universe, which was the very, very misguided attempt to create a new horror, in quotes, Universal Studios universe that was going to be a movie a year. Started initially with Dracula, that Dracula movie that kind of flopped right out of the gate.
Oh, Dracula Untold?
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
and then it was then they were like, okay, never mind that. But okay, we're going to do The Mummy with Tom Cruise, Sophia Boutella, and Russell Crowe. It was going to follow with Bride of Frankenstein.
I really, really, really tried to give that, like, before I saw the movie, was like, I don't know about this casting, but visuals look great and the previews, and I was like, I'm gonna see it and try it. hope that they'll do it justice. And Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that movie? The plot, doesn't even have a plot.
Johnny Depp was supposed to be originally attached to this movie. Javier Bardem was going to be Frankenstein's monster. This was all going to be a big thing, and then The Mummy flopped. So that was 2 back-to-back attempts, and it flopped. So then they separated out the projects, tried to disconnect them. Somewhere along the line, they told Guillermo del Toro to fuck off over his fantasy of having the Swamp Thing have a romantic relationship with the girl. Hence, we know what he did, and he got an Academy Award for it. Or it was Academy nominated at least. I don't remember. I think it did win something. But anyway,
his creature would have been so fucking good.
So just to say,
from the Black Lagoon movie,
everything, because he actually likes horror. Everything in this project, this Dark Universe project, which could have been on paper, sounds so good. I've noticed, and this is what I'll say, every single movie has been not horror, them just turning it into an action movie, a thriller, a this, a that. And even though this was spun off and disconnected, again, like the others, they just don't want it to be horror. So there you go.
Well, and with this one, it was funny because they got, a director that does horror. And it still, to me, just was this pretentious, big budget, shiny turd. It was like playing into everything, like you guys said, that they thought people wanted to see, which, for me, I don't really want to see a movie about people being gaslit. It's funny, even when I was younger, like I couldn't watch movies where the main character didn't know what was going on and everyone else did, because it made me fucking crazy. And movies like this do that same sort of thing, and it's just like, or where something's going on and no one else believes them, but you, the viewer, know the truth. Like that shit just bothers me.
If it was going on in a different time, like period of when it came out, and they didn't call it The Invisible Man and made it like, oh, it's this thriller about this abuse effects or like whatever, I'd be like, all right, I'm probably not the kind of movie I want to see, but that would make more sense. But what they did,
exactly.
It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? This has nothing to do with whether the movie was good or not. An iconic classic from Universal Studios, Universal Pictures. Is like, it to me just seemed like a money grab. Like all this shit's going on, and this is gonna really pull some heartstrings. And now,
Well, of course, it's a money grab,
right?
I mean,
and it's just like, man. And you'll get a lot of people that are like, I loved it, because they don't want to actually say they didn't like it. Because if you say you didn't like it, then you're an enabler or some other shit, because everyone's, got their angle now. If you don't agree with something, you know what I mean?
I like too that the description says that it's loosely based on H.G. Wells' book. There's an invisible person. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's as much as The Invisible Man as Hollow Man is. I mean, it's Memoirs of the Invisible Man with Chevy Chase. Like, you can do anything based off this concept,
right? But at least Hollow Man made sense, because scientist, he actually became invisible. It was his body, like running all these tests and all this shit like that. Except that they really focused on the creepy rapey aspect of it, and I'm like,
and they were great actors in this. I mean, they did a good job in terms of their parts. Elizabeth Moss is fantastic. You guys all know her from what is it, Mad Men and Handmaid's Tale.
But she also is part of this like kind of feminist film thing, and it's funny because this movie receives so much acclaim in the US, but if you look other countries, like in the UK, they give it like 1 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 stars. And if you read some of the write-ups, almost all of them are talking about them taking advantage of the Me Too movement, and
basically, it's super obvious, and people in the US won't say it. They won't be like, oh, they're totally doing it. Because then, like I said, if you point out the fucking obvious, they're like, oh my God, what are you? Yeah. Are you victim blaming? It's like, what? No, the fucking movie sucked.
I mean,
not only that, but the whole fucking plot is so boring.
Right.
So boring.
That's exactly what Shotzi said.
Yeah.
I mean,
that movie is boring.
It doesn't even have like a cheesy romance novel thriller twist to it. Like, it is the biggest thing they did is when, you know, she stabs the invisible person and it's the brother.
Yeah, Michael Dorman, who is also in For All Mankind. He's a great actor.
Isn't even a fucking twist. And it's so funny because, you know, I feel like this same like abusive husband, gaslighting, you know, shit, like that movie Enough with, I think, J-Lo, and there was the one, God, what was it? Sleeping with the Enemy. You know, this story's been told 1,000 times, and it's so funny because recently, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but HBO came out with a series called Made for Love.
No,
I don't think I caught that.
It's really, really funny. It's got Kristen Milotti in it and Ray Romano's in it. But the whole take is there's a guy who's essentially like, you know, a tech crazy, you know, billionaire, but he's created this whole like virtual reality world. But he meets this girl and ends up having her move into his virtual reality world, and you know, she basically becomes, you know, whatever he wants her to be, and realizes she's bored, so she gets out and finds a way to escape and goes back home to live in a trailer with her dad, Ray Romano, who now lives with a sex doll and has an active relationship with it.
Yeah.
It's you guys should check it out. It's really, really funny. But you know, anyhow,
I like Ray Romano.
The whole, you know, husband, boyfriend,
right.
You know, it's a different kind of abuse or whatever, but it's that same sort of like, you know, you lose yourself, whatever, you're trying to escape, sociopathic kind of thing in a way. But they did it really witty, and it has a lot of comedic presence, and it's interesting. It's like,
what's it called
funny. Again? Made for Love.
Made for Love.
Yeah, and the main actress, she was in that newer movie, Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that, where they're reliving the same day over and over.
Yeah, the Groundhog Day movie. There's so many of those too.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was fun.
It's funny, like I don't consider this movie horror, but for me, like horror movies, I don't necessarily want them to mimic reality, and if they do, I really want them to be creative with it. And this one was just like, it was just fucking boring.
Right, and I mean, you could say this kind of tips its tone to like science fiction realm.
It is more of a science fiction.
You know, what's the original one? That's what
it's like a dramatic thriller with sci-fi and
but
horror elements.
It's far more that than anything.
Yeah, the original Invisible Man wasn't like super scary, and there's lots you could build up on that story. I mean, that concept. People have
super light, whimsical, kind of like the weirdest, the sketchiest part or thing about the original was towards the end where he literally starts going crazy. You know, it got a little heavy. He's like, but aside from that, it's a pretty comedic movie.
Yeah.
You know, even the weird shit that today now people be like, oh my God, he's objectifying women, and, you know, where he's like blowing up skirts or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not done in a weird, malicious, creepy way.
That's the thing. The Invisible Man was more of a prankster. It was just somebody. It was
right.
somebody doing what all of us would do if we were invisible. We'd fuck with people.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. I mean, we know that people don't want to admit it.
Yeah, and with
you
this,
know what I mean?
It's just like, I don't know. And people keep saying, whatever. Like, I'm a fucking woman, and I'm tired of seeing shit like this. Like, I don't care. It's overplayed. Yes, I know that, you know, men make women look like they're crazy, and I also know a lot of times women are fucking crazy. But to me, this whole idea is just
it's super. It was an easy thing to do, and you knew exactly
Of
what
course.
was going to happen 10 minutes into the movie. Like you're like, okay, this is how this whole thing's going to fucking play out.
Yeah,
And
and
it
then it
did.
never
And you're
got
like,
any more interesting. Like
mm-mm.
even when she finds the pills that, you know, she had dropped, that she had drugged him with after she passes out, it's like, that's not like, ooh, this is mysterious. We know the movie's called The Invisible Fucking Man. We know there's
Right.
somebody invisible doing something. Why do you think I should be surprised that an invisible person, who the fucking movie is named after, took
Right.
the pills that you dropped in his house and drugged you? But they play like the suspenseful music, and she sees the bottle, and it's this thing, and it's like,
The only part
that's you
I
showing
enjoyed,
your stripes. Okay.
right? The only part I enjoyed is when they're at the dinner table, when she's having dinner with her sister.
Yes, the throat slit.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh fuck yeah, okay, that's cool. And then that was
I thought it was gonna pick up after that. After that, I thought she was gonna like go fucking crazy and like really shit goes down. But instead, they played into like the dumbest female revenge tropes ever. Like even at the end, you know, when she fucking kills him while she's invisible and then is like making faces at him off camera. I was just like, this has been done so much better so many other times that there's no like at the end, you don't feel anything for any of it. It was just painful.
I was so mad. I was so mad in the theater.
See, I didn't think I would like it, and I had read everything about it, so I kind of went in with that. So when I saw it at the end, it actually was a little better than I thought it would be, just because I really, really thought it was going to be even farther on the feminist kind of category. But it was just like Invisible Man name aside, because they shouldn't have used that because it wasn't accurate. But it was just boring. It was like a throwaway movie. If it's on in the background and whatever, it's fine. It's not the worst movie in the world, but it's like they just went the easy route every way possible, and every like thing that was supposed to be a twist or interesting wasn't. It was just like, okay, so is anything gonna happen?
I mean, yeah, like
if
I'll be complimentary, like I said, I liked the performances. The actors were all very good. Oliver Jackson Cohen is most known as the Haunting of the Hill House, as Adrian, the main antagonist. I mentioned Michael Dorman, the brother, that he's from All for All Mankind. He's great in that. Like, there's a lot of good actors in it, but I don't know, man. It just wasn't what I kind of feel like Universal has just not read the room with these movies. But then I have to say it grossed 70.4 million and 72.7 million in others. It got a great response. 91% out of 406 reviews of the film were positive. Average rating of 7.7 out of 10. Most people feel like it was smart, well acted, and above all scary, though I'm not sure where that came from. Like you said, a lot of the favorable reviews are based in America.
it's because most people are fucking idiots. That's why.
Yeah.
And they're going to
That
watch
too.
whatever you feed them. And the movie also came out in a really opportune time where people needed something to fucking do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and no one's going to be honest about it, because then they'll get shit on for like, what? Oh my god.
I mostly like Blumhouse, but I mean, it seems like it worked. But I mean, you're right. BBC 2 out of 5 stars, lacking in thrills.
And it sucks too, because Elizabeth Moss is like a good actor.
Yeah, she's
like,
great.
I like her. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Her
this
acting
could have been like.
Yeah, her acting was fine. But I mean, this movie got released, I think, like 2 weeks before everything shut down, and it was already starting to loom that like things, you know, were gonna kind of go that way. So people who didn't see it in the theater, this is one of the first like streaming big budget movies of the pandemic. And just like when we were going over, you know, the awards and who was nominated for what, like this movie had the biggest budget of any of those movies. This movie shouldn't, number one, isn't horror, so it shouldn't have been in any of the fucking horror awards. But it also had a budget that was 10 times bigger than anything else in any other category. It was like,
yeah,
okay, well, this isn't fair at all.
They call it a science fiction horror film, which I don't know if I agree with. I feel like
not.
it's
No,
suspense.
it's a
barely
dramatic
science fiction,
thriller.
right?
Yeah.
And it's dramatic kind of thriller because it's not even very thrilling.
I think it's
There
loosely
was
based on the
nothing-
novel of the same name by H.G. Wells, as in someone gets
I told
invisible.
you, yeah. No. No, it's yeah.
It just makes me so mad because there's so much that could have been done with the book.
It's
in
weird
the, in the original movie, and they fucking blew it to go, take an easy picking, fucking okay, we're gonna do this because this is what's hot now, and it's such a shitty thing to do.
I mean, Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon is more accurate to at least the original movie of the invisibility driving him crazy. It's like
right.
So, do they have any more upcoming?
no, I think they
Universal
flogged. No, I doubt it. I think they flogged this. Though this worked out, they feel like it worked out because they handed it over to Blumhouse, who does really well with horror.
They do good stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think
so
they're
I
milking
was
anything
hopeful
more.
that. Man, I was, like I said, I just hate that Hollywood does this shit and lets it slide. Like we're just gonna take the name basically and just come up with a whole new fucking movie. Like, well, then just come up with a whole new movie.
Yeah,
like you could take influences and take things from other movies and create your own and call something that people be like, oh man, that reminds me of this or that's totally that. Like Hollow Man, you know what I mean?
I just think that if they're gonna do something like a dark universe, which I think is still a great idea, they could start again and do it. You've got to put someone like Del Toro in charge. You have to put somebody who understands horror, modern horror, who understands these old horror movies. And it just seems like when they did this, it's almost like the Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum speech. It's like they were so obsessed with the fact that could they do it, that they could do it. They never thought if they should. Like they just didn't think about what these things were turning into. But I mean, this one at least did really well for them. So
it's like here's another music analogy that we do all the fucking time on the show
because we're musicians.
So it's like, all right. So look, most people, at least, I don't want to say most, a lot of people first found out who the Misfits were through Metallica. Like anyone who didn't grow up in the late 70s and 80s, right?
How?
A lot of people. Because I first heard the Misfits when I was young, 7, 8. It was the first collection. And the first couple songs I heard was like it was the first 2 songs. And I'm just
Did
like,
Metallica cover the Misfits?
Oh yeah. They did on Garage Days or Garage Eve as it came out. They did Last Caress, Green Hell, and something else maybe just Last Caress and Green Hell. Anyway, you grew up hearing like, oh my God, heavy metal's all about like killing babies and raping moms and stuff like that. And then, Metallica did Last Caress, and that's one of the lines, I got something to say, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Metallica did it. Like when I first heard him, didn't like him. I was like, oh, he sounds like Jim Morrison. Because I heard like slower songs, fucking Hollywood Babylon and and I was just like, I've never been a Doors fan. I was just like, oh, fuck this band. And then I was totally like, Iron Maiden. Such a little headbanger. Like nothing else matters. Fast forward, I don't know, fucking 6 years. So I'm like 15. I hear. No, I was probably 13 or 14. Hear Metallica do Last Caress, and I'm like, wow, this song's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out, I'm like, oh shit, that's the Misfits. And I go back and revisit the Misfits, and and after that, biggest Misfits fan forever. But Metallica did it right. Like if you're going to cover a song and or redo a movie, you can add your own little stuff in it, make it a little different. Metallica's, they added, a little different progression in one thing, and James Hetfield sang it a little differently.
Mhm.
but it was basically the same song, catchy and fucking, a punk rock and roll song. So then
I
you
just
get
sent
the
you guys
people.
some bullshit. Go on.
But so you get all these new fans that otherwise didn't grow up during that time. They hear it and they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna go back and revisit the band that originally did it. Just like when someone does like a Chuck Berry song or something, people who
Right.
never grew up on that are like, oh man, that's awesome. I'm gonna go back and start digging all that original shit, because it's the same fucking song. It's the song, a little bit different. Sounds a little bit different, maybe it's faster or heavier, like whatever, but it's the same song.
Okay.
You don't make a movie. You don't just steal the fucking title of a song and create a whole new song and be like, oh no, we loosely covered that song.
But that's what's happening. So Oubliette just sent something that I will let her talk about. But then I discovered also a bunch of news about the Dark Universe project, where it is still going forward.
Oh my
Now
God.
all the movies are separate.
Man.
So let's start with the one she just found, and then I'll tell you what I found out.
The director who just did The Invisible Man is doing The Wolf Man with Ryan Gosling.
I did hear about that.
Yeah. Okay. So all these movies are going to be separated. And so originally what was going to happen, I found an article from December 2019 on Cinema Blend. So give him credit to Mike Reyes. But basically, if 2017's reboot of The Mummy worked out the way Universal Studios had planned, the Dark Universe was going to be Tom Cruise's The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein with Angelina Jolie, Invisible Man starring Johnny Depp, and then you were going to see Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster, and there was going to be somebody as the Wolfman, but they didn't actually have it that far. But eventually all these guys would appear in an Avengers style movie that there would be everybody in it. Dracula Untold was initially the first one, but it did not work out. So basically everything fell apart once The Mummy fell apart. So some of these movies fractured out, and The Invisible Man was one of them that shook out like pretty well. But what was also going to happen is there's a project supposedly called Dark Amy that is being worked on by Paul Feig, writer and director. You might remember him from doing Bridesmaids, Last Christmas, and the Ghostbusters reboot. That was all women comedians. It's supposed to be funny. It's a passion project. Nobody knows what it's about, but I would say, if I had to guess, Bride of Frankenstein is probably what that is. Then the Dracula project to reboot is now Renfield, supposedly. Director Dexter Fletcher. He did the Elton John biopic Rocket Man. He's going to direct the film. Apparently, Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman pitched this film focusing on Renfield as he starts to realize just maybe that his master doesn't care a whole lot about him. It's going to be comedy and horror. That's their Dracula movie. Elizabeth Banks is pitching her portion of the Dark Universe revamp as an interpretation of The Invisible Woman, described as Thelma Louise meets American Psycho. None of these are connected. They're not in a shared universe. They're just reboots of these old Universal movies. James Wan is going to do Frankenstein. There's a lot of clues along these lines. He's in talks to deliver that. You know him from The Conjuring. So basically it looks like a whole bunch of these are movies, and now we have Wolfman with Ryan Gosling, and of course
basically looks like a bunch of dog shit.
Lee Whannell, who did the other movies, Saw most notably, which he did a great job on, and did The Invisible Man. He's now doing The Wolfman. So these Dark Universes.
Dead Silence was a good movie.
Dead Silence was a good movie, actually. Yeah, that's right. So there we are. That's what you're seeing. You're going to see revamped versions of these movies that are either comedies or thrillers, and they're going to be moving away from their horror tones, I think, while still keeping their one foot in them. But they're basically remaking. They're just not connected.
If you want to do a parody and make it like a comedy or whatever, I get it. Sure, that might be okay.
They've been doing that since Abbott and Costello,
right? Right. So, I mean, it's like, that's fine, whatever. But it's like, even the different perspective, like, oh, we're going to do the movie from Renfield's perspective. I'm like, I mean, I guess, but that's not the point of the fucking movie.
guess.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, Dracula Untold failed, so they're trying something different. And Invisible Man worked.
Apparently,
you do.
Oh, wait,
Okay,
go on.
totally.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, did you mention that Chloe Zhao's doing Dracula?
No.
She
I
did
saw
Nomadland and The Eternals.
It's Dexter Fletcher's doing Renfeld, supposedly, as of 2019. As of the beginning of 2020, that's where they were looking. But yeah.
But like I was saying, it's like, look, if you're gonna redo it, what you want, what the objective of any artist should be, whether it be music or painting, whatever, you're going to cover a song or redo a movie, you should want to expose a whole new audience to a classic to get them interested in the classic. Not like, hey, dude, I brought this up before, and it's one of my pet peeves as being in a band, an original band, when there's tribute bands. And all three of us probably know of at least one tribute band who was a Misfits tribute band. And they dress up like the Misfits. That's what a tribute band does. You dress up like the band. You're that could maybe. I won't say yes or no, but yes. It isn't. And it's like, okay, you build this following as the band, right? I get it, tribute bands, whatever, they're fun. It's cool to cover songs. What you don't do, which is the hackiest shit ever, and it will fucking make me not respect the people in the band as a whole, ever, is when you create and record a fucking album of originals as the tribute band and play the new songs that sound like other newer Misfit songs as a band you're paying tribute to. What the fuck? Like, you just don't do that. You don't do that.
No, that's just
hack
weird.
shit. It's like, if you're going to be a tribute band,
use
cool,
another
that's
name,
fun.
have another band.
Get another band and write that shit.
Yeah.
You don't do it as that band. And it's the same as these fucking movies. You're just taking names and that and any sort of fame the previous movie had that you're supposed to be redoing and making your own shit with.
I mean, you got to remember, like, a lot of these guys are pitching. Okay, I mean, it's not hard to see how this came about. Like, you have a bunch of executives who had this lofty answer to Marvel and Disney as a dark universe with popular, beloved characters. They got all the big actors. They got all these big writers and directors. They put together these big blockbuster films, not really small horror films, not having faith in horror, just action. Answer Marvel with their own series, and it flops, then flops, and then flops again. And it just doesn't work. And so then all of a sudden you have somebody coming in here like going, look, we don't have to totally toss this all out. Let's take the Invisible Man. Let's make it about a relationship and a stalking situation. Let's make it terrifying for this young woman. Let's take advantage of what's going on right now. You get a bunch of dudes in the room talking about this, and this is what you get. And they secure a strong actress who's really hot right now, who's definitely, as
100%,
as Oobliette said, known for feminist characters. And all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of money that was being tightly held suddenly loosening up. And then when you see that does well, you realize, hey, we can revamp these old monster movies and make money as long as we take advantage of the political and social overtones that we lock into this, and then we make it slightly smaller than we planned, but still really load it up and kind of give it some weight. And we stay away from horror. We just take advantage, because we're catering to the bulk of people who are going to go watch this movie and buy this movie. So it's not hard to figure it out. And it worked.
No,
it worked. It totally worked.
No,
this was a successful movie.
Like, right. I said earlier, that's exactly what they did, but it's fucking dumb. And they should stop doing it.
Yeah, but it worked. That's the thing.
I don't give a shit. The people who worked on it are fucking stupid, and anyone that likes this film is a fucking asshole. Period. It's not the Invisible Man. It's not the fucking Invisible Man.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's not. You know what I mean? That shit it makes me so mad.
You bought a ticket.
I did, right?
Like if
because I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance, and I fucked up, just like when I tried to change my oil the other day, and I couldn't get the fucking bolt off, the plug out, because they tightened it too much after I already bought all the shit to do it, and I had to go get my oil changed anyway. I was like, Jesus Christ, I should have just fucking paid for it in the first place. But
listen, like I feel like if they would have approached this whole series of movies more candidly, of like, this is a modern bullshit suckfest adaptation of all the Universal
completely
monsters.
Accurate description of them.
At least
that's accurate.
At least you'd know what you were going into, but instead it's
right.
this modge podge of shit. Like the Wolfman's one thing, the Mummy's another thing. It's like,
right? There needs to be cohesion.
Modernized. Yeah. Right. So if they're going to be like, all right, we're going to make all the Universal monsters touch on
garbage,
super woke culture and feminist agenda, then great. But say that. Be like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's
just
cool.
Be honest, because it's super fucking obvious. And it's insulting.
Right. Then I will decide on that whether I want to watch it or not. But you can't. And I don't know, what they're doing just seems so cheap.
I'm only because, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
We should actually do that, because that's another garbage dump. Fucking dumpster fire.
I've never watched it all the way through.
I watched
it's so good visually, and like everything. You're like, fuck yeah, the way he looks. I'm like, god damn, that's fucking awesome. And then you watch it, and then you get the fucking what's his nuts is his dad. Fucking lava beans. What's his fucking
yeah. Anthony
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, is his dad, and it takes this like weird ass fucking other plot, and it puts it in there, and you're like, you could have just remade the Wolfman. It's a simple fucking movie, and modernized it with all this new shit, and it would have been fucking awesome, because visually the movie's great.
Oh yeah, like I mean the makeup it was crazy good.
Yeah.
But what pisses me off more about all of it is that, 15 years from now or whatever, even now, people 20 years younger than us are going to be like, oh yeah, I love the story of the Invisible Man.
Right. And it's not the story.
Right. And then
you're going to punch him.
The shit that, no, I'm just going to slowly walk away and be like,
we have to get a GoFundMe for get Oobliette out of jail.
No, those days have passed. My violence days are at least.
She's gonna be shitting in pizza boxes in
15 years in the past. But no, I'm just gonna slowly walk away, saddened by, what the world has become.
Well, I gotta
which
say,
I do daily anyway. But
I was gonna say, come on, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We talk about this.
But this one will be a serious one with some awesome montage music that will play, and memories popping up of me with thinking of the original Universal monsters and what could have been, and
Yeah, it would be so easy. Look at the success all the Godzilla movies are having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you could do that.
And those movies have changed some things a little bit.
A little bit. But it's still Godzilla. still King Kong. They could do that with these fucking monsters in these Universal Pictures films.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I don't feel like, any of us are, such truists that we're like, they can't change anything. I think there's so many elements that they could kind of have fun with and change and do whatever, whether we liked it or not, fuck it. But I would still say it's the Invisible Man. But the liberties they took were just stupid.
The thing that bums me out is that the concept of a dark universe, I think, would be fantastic, thrilling, and exciting. I would love to see some really good, honest to God, like I really enjoyed, what was it, Penny, what was that series? Penny Dreadful. I enjoyed that series. It was plenty of cheese and cringe in it too, but like overall, I really enjoyed that show. I need to watch that newer season,
dude,
see if it's worth anything.
Like, I don't know why they don't explore more things like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or even what's the Hellboy one? Bureau of Paranormal BP.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a ton of material there.
Stuff like that. I mean, and especially like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you have all these like heavy hitters, and then if that did well, take those actors and do single films of them. But
they've spent so much money on that crappy version
they're doing right now.
They knock it out. These people they're not always the coolest people in the room. You know what I mean? Who get the money to do this. It's
like I said, it's
but
insulting.
I would take the Sean Connery League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 10 times over fucking this new Invisible Man.
He did that because he turned down Gandalf in Lord of the Rings and felt stupid because it was such a big hit. He thought it was garbage. And then so he did this one, and this one flopped, and he's like, see, fuck this. I don't want to do anything anymore. He's like, I don't know what works.
He's like, your mother's a whore.
I liked it for as silly as it was. It was like the Hellboy movies for me. Like, I feel like, play true to the graphic novel or the writing. And
I didn't necessarily have an issue with it. I thought it was entertaining.
I'm reading, I got the Werewolf by Night collection from the comics from the 70s about the Wolfman that they did. They rebooted a bunch. Marvel Comics rebooted a bunch of horror tropes from Marvel Universe in the 70s. And it's cheesy 70s comics, but it's a pretty cool story. It's making me want to read I think it's Tome of Dracula. I think they call the Dracula series. They have a few of them that they did in the 70s where they just really embraced this Universal Hammer-esque horror and they just modernized it. But I don't know. I think that these stories are eternal and you can tell them over and over again. You just have to understand what you're talking about. Like this movie, I agree. I think if they'd have called it something else and they approached it, I mean, it's a good film on its own. It's just, again, it's like if you go in there going, The Invisible Man, I'm watching a new updated version of The Invisible Man, and you come into a sci-fi.
Invisible Man's millennial son.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been Hollow Man, and Hollow Man could have been a better Invisible
boy,
Man.
little bitch.
Like,
doesn't know how to treat people.
This would have worked. You could have flipped these two titles of those two movies, redone Hollow Man now as The Invisible Man, and I actually thought that was more like, again, it was about someone's science and discovery going too far and their accidents driving them crazy and resulting in ruining their lives, which is the story of The Invisible Man. We just neglected that, dropped that all out of this one. And why isn't this something else? I mean, this is like Memoirs of the Invisible Man. You're taking the concept of Invisible Man and applying it in a different situation. I think that's where this movie went wrong. If it was called that, it would be fine, but it wasn't.
There's also the issue of like some movies. Not saying this is one of them, because you could do an updated version like in present day of science fiction movie. But like some movies you can, it just doesn't translate well into modern day. Some movies you can, some movies you can't. Like I don't think Frankenstein would be a good modern day because it would end up just being an action movie, or like anything like that. But I think
you would have to find the right director who can, see the the bridge they could build. I think
That's true.
any of these stories are doable. It's just that
I think there's gothic
when
horror
people
in
flip
modern
the
time.
script a little bit, it's like Invisible Man could have easily been updated. It's probably one of the easiest of any of the monsters to update.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Because
Hollow
with the
Man
way
did it.
science and
You believed it.
technology is now, it's fucking
Right.
easy.
Right.
Somebody's
Yeah.
a scientist. He fucking makes an invisible suit and he has a lot of fucking fun with it. I mean, they could have gone dark comedy. They could have.
They also
whatever.
try and make these simple stories so fucking complicated.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, sometimes I think, to speak to Oubliette's point, I totally agree. The right director and the right vision. Like, if Guillermo del Toro came in and said had like before Shape of Water said, I want the Swamp Thing and the human woman to be in love, I would have been like, what?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I would have been like, are you sure? And it's like, it's not that I don't.
Even Swamp Thing was a good angle on that.
Yeah,
which was basically,
Yeah, but at a certain point, you have to look at the director's work and understand their understanding of horror and bank on it. And Universal Studios screwed up. They didn't. They were like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. We'd rather turn The Mummy into an action film, which that had already been done, but it was a comedy action film, and that worked in its time. Yeah, in its time it worked. But I mean, I don't know.
And The Mummy is a fucking perfect film because, let's be honest, the original Mummy is boring as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's cool to look
a
at.
Dracula rehash. It's just a Dracula.
It's awkward. Right. It's super awkward.
Not as cool looking as Dracula, but
yeah.
Right. But I mean, mummies are fucking creepy. Mummies, tombs, and dead things, like that shit's creepy. You could have totally remade that darker and creepy.
Oh, if you wanted to go in darker, any of the traveling kind of fun horror movies that come out could have been, kids go backpacking. I mean, whatever. The annoying two couples are on a trip. They find out about this place the locals only know about. I mean, you could go as simple or as in depth with that story as you want, but I could think of a million ways to do The Mummy better 100%. Than what they did.
Yeah.
In like
and the original and the Invisible Man and a million other.
Yeah, right now you could give me a piece of paper and I could write, 5 storylines for each one that would be better than this fucking movie we're talking about.
That we've just shit on forever. I could seriously shit on this movie for days.
So maybe it's time to talk about candy corn.
Yeah, it is. It's totally time to talk about candy corn. And by the way, just a reminder, it's a Shape of Water won for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Production Design, Best Original Score. How much do you think the Universal Studios execs are kicking themselves
dollar
over
bills,
that?
right? Dollar bills.
Like,
that's what the money pays for.
How much would they be kicking themselves for not listening to him?
They were like, who's the committee that votes on what movies are going to be on here?
Yeah. That is a beautiful example of taking a concept of the Creature of the Black Lagoon, updating it with something different, and giving you something interesting and fun. And that wasn't really a horror movie. That's a romantic fantasy.
I've never watched it.
Oh, really? It's really beautiful.
Oh, really?
Because I will one day, but everybody hyped it up so much.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
You just have to give me time. I have to take time.
I get that.
It's good. It's a good science fiction movie.
Yeah.
Based on Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I don't know how it got it right where this got it wrong, but it did. So it's just the difference of somebody understanding what they were working on, I guess. So
one last thing before we get to the rating. So another thing that just makes me so mad and insults me is
you took this one personal.
I really did, because it just came to a point where it was like, so pandering. And so obviously, like, we're going to cash in on this thing and not have an original thought, but bank on the success of an old classic and just all the shit. It was just not, but it's like they're trying super hard to condition people to accept garbage as movie. It's like, oh, these people wouldn't like just an updated, more scary version of whatever Universal, Studios, Universal Pictures movie we decided to do, any monster movie, because they just won't like it. And there's so many fucking people that would. Godzilla and shit like that proves it, that you're gonna get the old audience and then the new upcoming audience that is trying to find a way into all this shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
And it's so insulting that they're just like, no, we're gonna take the easiest, hackiest way in these hot button social issues and go that route on a movie. But we're gonna call it, this movie, and it's gonna be loosely based on whatever. It drives me fucking insane. So
Yeah.
I cannot condone anything that anyone involved in making these movies.
Well, okay. Well, with that said, how do you really feel about this one?
Oh, so I was talking to Shots.
Oh yeah.
And
Always dear Shotzi.
She's doing good. Got a lot of shit going on, and
Yeah.
sends her love and says she will, make it back sooner than later. Hopefully, if things allow. But so we were talking about this movie, and she was like, "This is so fucking boring," and she's pretty much on the same page as all of us. Just kind of like really obvious what they were doing and just wasn't buying it,
Mm-hmm.
And she actually made me lower my score after I thought about it. This is probably the lowest score either of us have ever given a movie. She gave it a 0.5 cute, invisible zombie candy corn. And my original rating was going to be 1 because I was like, oh, there were some cool parts in it. And when she said that, she's like, dude, it was so fucking boring. She actually had fallen asleep during it at some point. It made me think, I'm like, all right, well, so I wasn't going to rewatch the movie. So I just sat there and thought, I'm like, all right, well, what parts did I actually like? And the only part I actually was into was the dinner scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, if I really only enjoy one scene out of a fucking movie, I mean, that shouldn't get a 1. Because a 1 is at least like, there's something to it, but I'm just not into it. So I was like, 0.5, a half a candy corn is suitable for this fucking pile of trash. So we were both at 1/2.
Okay.
Invisible, cute zombie candy. Yeah.
All right, Oobliette, what do you think?
I mean, it's hard because as a movie, maybe like 2 out of 5, but as a horror movie, I don't really give it any. I don't really give it any.
Right? That was my original thing, because I'm like, oh, if they would have just called it something different, it might have been cool, and like it would have been all right.
Yeah,
she's a great actor, and I'm like, okay. And then I just really started to think how insulted I was that they just pulled that shit, and I'm like, man, that really shows you just don't care about the fucking audience, and you're just looking for the money, and you're just looking to capitalize on shit. And I was like, fuck that. So
it's funny because my rating echoes Oubliette's. Bless you. It was
God bless you, my
as
child.
a movie that it's trying to be. Actors do a good job, interesting story-ish. It's kind of a boring film, but like I've seen the thriller
Awful
multiple
story.
times, but like the sci-fi bent, sure, it gives it another twist that didn't.
Awful story.
I guess, it's a typical story, but like, all right. So I was like, as a movie, 2, as a horror movie, 1. I mean, I guess, and that's being,
Generous.
generous, because it's like, am I gonna sit here and tell everyone like this is a terrible movie? It's fucking awful. It's like, no, it's just not what it should be, and it's not. It doesn't feel like the Invisible Man. Like I said, this should be called Hollow Man, and Hollow Man could be called Invisible Man to be more accurate. So, if you're looking for a movie in this vein, you're not watching the most exciting one. There are others that I would recommend. If you want to see a woman wronged, a woman gaslit, there are some classic amazing movies that we could discuss, but we discuss monster movies and horror movies, and as a monster movie and horror movie, you're not good. This isn't what you're looking for. This isn't it. Keep looking.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not going to be. So there it is. I mean, I'd almost say go watch A Quiet Place if you want a mainstream light horror that appeals and was successful. Quiet Place. There you go. There's your
This movie, the best part about it is I feel like most women
When it's over.
or men who are of a certain age have had almost this exact relationship, except for the person wasn't invisible and was able to do the same shit.
I mean,
And
Sleeping
I
with
just
the Enemy.
realized that's what pissed me off the most about this movie. You
What's
didn't
up?
even have to be fucking invisible to pull the shit this person pulled.
What was Wahlberg's movie when he was a kid that he was in with like
Fear.
Fear? That's this kind of movie. I mean,
That movie is better than this one.
That movie is better than this one.
Nicole Forever.
Yeah. There you go. That movie's better than this one. You want to watch something? Watch Fear. There's a better version of this movie. I mean, but the sci-fi thing is okay. Sure, it's fun. All right, why not?
This movie could have been called Fear, except Marky Mark is a fucking is a techie nerd and has an invisible suit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate anybody for this movie, but I definitely am like, this was a waste of time.
I hate everybody that.
I'm not as angry as you are, but I definitely felt like it was a waste of my time for a horror podcast.
I mean, really, think of one scene that you couldn't have done with the invisibility thing. The texting, you don't need to be invisible.
Yeah, it was really
Stealing
kind of
somebody's
shoehorned
shit
in.
out of their briefcase and drugging them, you don't need to be invisible.
No,
You're like, how are we going to
invisible.
fit the Invisible Man in this piece of shit movie we're making?
I honestly,
we got to fit him in somehow.
No, this could have been a noir stalker thriller, but like they just leaned like, hey, it's the Invisible Man, so it's gonna be this, and the whole part.
I'm just now realizing that's what pissed me off the most. You didn't need to be fucking invisible for this movie to happen.
No, you didn't.
Except for the throat cutting scene.
Yeah,
right.
The last scene.
Yeah, but like honestly, it's just the concept of the Invisible Man. You can do it in many ways, but it's really about people experimenting with science they don't fully understand and the repercussions that come from it, which initially seem awesome, but then you realize you're cursed and fucked. That's the point. There it is. That's the concept of the Invisible Man. That's the horror.
Except for this
behind
movie,
it.
the concept is like, hey, I have a bunch of money and I have this invisible suit and my girlfriend left me, so I'm gonna fake my suicide and wear this suit just to fuck with her because I'm awesome.
Yeah, that's we never said that, but that was one thing that struck me. I'm like, why are you doing why to what purpose, what level? Like, I understand crazy, but like it was just like you're going through so much trouble.
The dude had money. He could have gaslit her a million ways.
There's so many other ways. Like, I just whatever. But yeah, there it is, people. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get it.
And they made it not about. They made it about her. You know what I mean? It's just a whole weird thing that they're like, let's just jumble this up completely and not make it about anything that
there it is. Sorry to yawn.
So he gives it a half. At this point, I'm
Shotzi gives it a half.
Cranky, and I realize I hate it that much more, so I'm going with a half too.
There you go. So 3 halves don't make a whole. I think I'm
4 halves.
They make a hole and a half.
Hole and a half. There you go. So Shotzi has spoken. E has spoken. Oubliette has spoken. And I have spoken. There you go. Thank you so much for listening.
What was yours, Dom?
I have pretty much one.
One.
Yeah, just one. Which is like as a horror film, one. As a regular film, two. For the acting, they all did a good job, but there's better movies like this that don't involve science fiction or...
All right there, Candy Killers. This has been another episode of Monster Candy Podcast. We're going to see you real soon.
Don't go see this movie.
Don't fucking go see it. It's awful.
Surprises.
This is the worst movie ever.
Surprises. You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. If you want to find out more about the show, find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. We should have a brand new site there soon. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram just by searching Monster Candy Podcast. You can find us on Twitter by looking up Monster CNDYPC. Again, we couldn't get Monster Candy Podcast on Twitter, so that's the best we could do. If you want to know more about Shotzi Blackheart, check her out on Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can also find her on Twitter at Shotzi WWE. That's SHOTZIWWE. Follow along on her adventures when she's not on the show. You can find out more about Screamin E and his band, the Memphis Murdermen, on their Facebook page. Just look up TMMM official page. You can find him on Instagram under Screamin E. That's Screamin' with no G, add an E. If you want to find out more about Oobliette Sparks and myself, you can find our band at tsunamibomb.net, or you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook just by looking up Tsunami Bomb. You can also find my artwork at dominicdavi.com, and you can follow my other podcast at 3gigspodcast.com, or you can find it just by searching 3gigs podcast on this very platform. We hope to hear from you. Drop us a line and let us know what you'd like us to review in the future, what you'd like us to check out. I can promise at least half the cast would be willing to hear your suggestions, and the other half probably won't care, but I'll let you guess which is which. See you next time.
Suck my peanuts.